Welcome back, everyone. Well, this video was requested by one of you. So we're back with the Countertop dishwasher. This is the Capsule dishwasher by Loch Electronics. As mentioned previously, this one does have a fruit cleaning feature on it. I had a request to put some things in here and see what happens. So honestly, I don't know how this works. So over here, I've got a nearly full container of standard filtered water, so this is clear. I don't know if it's going to heat anything. I don't know if it's going to flush water through. I don't know if it's just going to use ultraviolet. But here's what we have. A little light on the subject here. So I got a selection of different things. We got some strawberries down here. We've got some raspberries. I figured they might be a little more fragile. Got an apple, a couple of potatoes, figuring they're probably the dirtiest of the set. I've got some leaf lettuce here. Underneath it, I've got a few pea pods. You can kind of see them down in there. I've also got some sliced up mushrooms. And then over here, I've got some broccoli flowerets. So all packed into the little container here. So the way this should work, pull this open, and take this out. All right. So I'm going to place that kind of centered in there if we can. Yeah, we're caught on something. There we go. Okay, there's our tray of vegetables inside. Closed up. Let's turn her on. I also have a power meter down here. So this gives me wattage on the top and total kilowatt hours used on the bottom over the course of time. So right now we're turned on in idle. So 0.5 watts, 0.4 watts resting. Alright, so let's press the fruit button. There we go. Looks like it's going to default to an 8-minute setting. Alright, let's go ahead and get it moving. Okay. $17.5 watts. We're not heating yet, it doesn't look like. Looks like it is going to draw some water down. Still not heating, looks like we're just drawing the pump. Okay, we're definitely washing. We're pulling about 17 or 18 watts, so that still shouldn't be the full heating element. Draining water into the drain over here. This does feel cool, so I don't think we're heating. Drawing down a little more water. Power-wise, we're still drawing about 4.3 watts. So now we're definitely running a rinse cycle. We're drawing about 29 watts, down to 23 now. Draining some more water. And drawing more off the supply. This is still room temperature over here. It doesn't appear to have heated anything. Looks like it's probably going to draw a pretty full container of water. Might need to get some more. I'm going to grab some water. We're on another rinse cycle now. I just added a quart of water. So before I wasn't entirely sure exactly how much this held, so that is exactly 32 ounces in there. So I would say based on that, probably it holds a little over a gallon. Maybe 5 quarts worth, or it's probably metric if I had to guess. Over here on our rinse cycle, so we're still not drawing power for the heater. So this should be just a standard room temperature rinse again. Alright, and we're ended. So, that's a little bit less water than I put in, but I would say if you're planning on doing a fruit cycle and you're using the water container, you're going to want to have it full. Let's see what we got inside. Okay, so it's definitely room temperature. Let's see where we stand. So our lettuce and spinach and things like that held up very well. Definitely no wilting, there's no fraying, nothing came out of the basket. Berries, same thing. They appear clean. Let's take a look inside there. Yep, I don't see anything down inside. Strawberries. Don't see any dirt in the leaves or underneath. Let's take a look at the potatoes. These appear to be clean. Yep, nothing rubs off. I think we're probably clean. Maybe a little bit of residue here. Otherwise, looks good. Broccoli held up well. No color changes, no signs of damage. Alright, let's take a look at the pea pods down underneath. Yep, same thing. They look okay. No damage, and they appear to be clean. So I would say, based on what I'm looking at here, this does a pretty good job. Probably don't want to pack things in too tightly, but even having a mixture like this, it seems to do a pretty good job of getting water around everything. What I'm not entirely sure about, and I can take a look at the instructions here, I don't know if the UV kicked in during this process or not. My guess would be yes. That's probably where the extra electricity was coming from. Our total power usage was basically 3 watt-hours of power, so 0.003 kilowatt-hours. That's not bad. Maximum power draw was in the teens or 20s, so this is really using minimal power. From what I can tell, it's using a little over a gallon of water and minimal electricity. Let's take a look at the instructions and see what else it might have been doing in there. Okay, here's the instructions if you can see them. So I just ran the 8-minute cycle, so it looks like that's used for fruits, strawberries, blackberries, grapes. That one is just water. The 12-minute cycle looks like it also adds in ultraviolet. So if these are anything similar to the dishwashing cycles that I've already played with, it looks like the longer cycles don't necessarily use more water. All they do is when they draw a quantity of water into the device, they then run a rinse cycle or a wash cycle that's longer than the shorter cycles. So as you can see, if you can read the top section up here, they do recommend. It does run a couple of cleaning cycles before it cleans the fruit, so what it's doing is just sloshing water around in the bottom portion down here. They do recommend, if you've been using it quite a bit for dishes, to go ahead and run a 15-minute cleaning cycle with nothing in it, just to rinse it and clean it out before you put your fruit and veggies in there. So I would say, from what I can tell, it's holding up great. I ran the shorter cycle. Fruits and vegetables seem to be doing well. Let me get this light turned off. There we go. So, seems to work out pretty well for fruits and vegetables. Now, I have not actually done a culture on these to find out if there's bacteria left behind, but even on the potatoes, which I know had some dirt on them when I put them in there, they seem to be pretty clean when I'm pouring them out. Let's take a look at our drain here and see what might be left behind. Let me set you down for a second. There we go. Hopefully you can see this. So this is our drain tank. I just emptied the remaining water from the tube here into it just so I can take that out of there. So if you can see it, see the dirt floating around in the top here? I'm pretty sure most of that was on the potatoes. But this is what we have. Looks like there might be a hair or two in there. And what else do we have? Looks like a couple of dead leaves maybe. So I would say it does a pretty good job of rinsing. I don't see a whole lot in there, but there's definitely something. So, from what that tells me, this seems to work pretty well. Again, I used the shorter cycle without ultraviolet in this case, and probably if you were going to be doing tubers, you know, carrots, potatoes, radishes, those kinds of things, it would probably make sense to do a longer cycle with ultraviolet. And definitely for the more fragile things, leaf lettuce, head lettuce, or your fruits like the berries in particular, you might want to choose the lower cycle. So here we have it. A standard fruit cycle for the Capsule dishwasher. Let me turn this off. There we go. So hopefully that was helpful for you. If there's anything else you want to see me put in here, or if you want to see me run any of the other cycles, I'm happy to do so. I will see you over the next horizon.